Good morning. Here we are again to continue our work. This is the third lesson. I'm going to take a minute to say once again, for anyone that would like to learn this practice, they need to learn how to relate in these exercises. These are 6 fundamental exercises that must be learned in order to tackle this type of a practice. It's necessary to learn these essential fundamentals before we can move in a pose. These fundamentals are very basic exercises. They are very simple and must be performed simply to ensure we are not concentrating on the exercise. In these simple exercises, we apply contraction and expansion, which is one basic rule. But in the modality of the directions, the 2 directions, and the 2 directions, and the 2 directions, whichever direction is a strength, and then they become 8 directions, the 8 doors of Taiji that unite, and these 8 doors must always be together, because this allows me not to let anyone in, if I choose to, of course, not allowing any empty spaces for anyone to enter. The 8 directions and the root trunk branches. The movements must be coherent with the initial movement from the root being the initial contact from above. So firstly, we move our hips, knees, and then the ankles. And in the same way, we come back up so we don't push into the ground. And then the shoulders move, elbows, wrists. Then the sacrum moves, the spinal cord, the arms, and the legs. We perform these few exercises in order to feel the relationship with our body. It's necessary to connect our mind to our body. It's very important that our body and mind work together because I need to be present in my body while I'm practicing these exercises. Today we're going to perform the closing exercise. It's a very simple exercise. Watch. This is the movement of the physical exercise. But if we apply the basic...
If you like our programs, please press the like, subscribe, and share buttons. Thank you.
But if we apply the basic rules, it totally changes. So we'll do this very simply with the directions. The hips go down as the arms come up. The hips come back up as the arms go down. And they go right and left. Again, the hips go down, the arms float up. Then I start again. And I go back with my back, bring around my arms, then I lower myself and come up, forward and back, up and down. Do you see? Up, right to left, down, back, and forward, down and up, forward and back, up with down. Now I'm going to apply the basic rule that is root, trunk, branches. So, hip, shoulder, knee, elbow, ankle, wrist. 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 Now we're going to tie into it expansion, contraction, in the same modality as hip, shoulder, knee, elbow. Expansion, the belly and the chest opens up. Tambien and mid tambien. And then instead, min men, shen dao, pai wei, they open. Expansion, and the arms move freely as we open up our tambien and the mid tambien. Contraction, be careful. Don't bend from the hip bone, but rather your min men, your third lumbar. Min men. See? I bend knees, elbows. As I lower, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Very clearly, very simply. This is the way to align ourselves in this manner. So I will do it once again. I go down, contraction. You see how the elbows lower themselves? Expansion. Do you see how the arms elongate continually? Contraction. You see how the back stretches out? Contraction. The back lowers itself. Expansion. Contraction. Expansion. So every exercise must be applied with these three main rules as a modality of a practice. Only then does the body work with these rules, and these basic rules continue to improve the exercise constantly. If I work only to improve the physical exercise, then we will not grow into this because we are training from a physical exercise stance. It will never produce the same benefits because I'm basically just doing this movement, which in a long run isn't the best for us depending on our age, etc. Rather, this type of practice doesn't hurt anyone, no matter what age. I know the young ones aren't interested in this type of a practice because they prefer to perform physically challenging activities in which they use their strength. But if you're 40 years of age or older, one would greatly benefit from this type of exercise in a very slow movement, because our mind must memorize. So if I perform it quickly in this way, our mind cannot keep up to follow all of this. Instead, I slowly train my mind to have a relationship with our body, to be together as one. The body is happy if the mind is in the body, and therefore the body gives us the most of itself, and we operate at a much higher frequency, and we enter into a mechanism of good health. Our body, our heart together with our mind work together, and they comfort each other. They guarantee and stimulate all the electromagnetic connections in a much easier way to bring a relationship that's balanced. So once again, I recap. I go down, then I do this, then I launch, expansion, slowly, 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 contraction, expansion. Okay, I thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll start to move with these simple exercises again, using our legs, which is very important. Thank you. Ciao.
Please monitor our programs at the Evan page of EliteTaiji.com.